Hooray! It's 35 awesome years of championing the rights of women and children in Rivers State. FIDA Rivers State branch is 35 years. A dream that started far back in 1944 with women from Puerto Rico, El Salvador, Cuba, Mexico, and the United States of America. The branch was established in 1986 in Rivers State. My name is Sophia Afolayan. I am the Publicity Secretary of FIDA Rivers State branch. With me to throw more light on FIDA Rivers at 35 are my dear sisters. From my far left, my far right is Mrs. Adata Bio Briggs, the chairperson, FIDA Rivers State branch. You're welcome, ma'am.
It's my pleasure.
Second, beside her is Mrs. Tamuno Ibuemi Jim George, the vice chairperson of FIDA Rivers State branch.
As always, thank you.
And also from my far right left, you have Mrs. Ini Irene Pepo. She is the state secretary of FIDA Rivers State branch. You're welcome, ma'am.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And we have our FIDA Week Planning Committee chairperson, who is in the person of Mrs. Okorite Yobo. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. My absolute pleasure.
To take us further in this conversation on FIDA Rivers at 35, my chairperson, Mrs. Adata Bio Briggs, will be giving us a brief history of FIDA Rivers, how it started in Rivers State. So, ma, how did FIDA Rivers start in Rivers State?
Okay. FIDA Rivers, how it started. It started like a conversation, the way we're seated right now. Some lawyers from Rivers State went for a funeral in Abia State. And at that funeral, they found out that some states had FIDA branches already existed. So they came back and decided that they wanted a branch of their own. So these women gathered together, held several meetings, but it led to the inauguration on the 27th day of May, 1987. Yeah. With Honorable Justice Mary Odili, retired, Justice of the Supreme Court retired. She just retired recently. Yeah. We had the celebrations. As the inaugural chairperson, we had Justice Denton West as the inaugural patron. We had Reverend Okara, Gloria Okara, as the secretary. That was the starting point. They had their inauguration at the Hotel Presidential. And I can tell you the MC was OCJ Okocha, SAM. He was the MC of the event.
Yes, yes.
And he has always
Let's start with that history.
Still with us.
Going further, we've had a long line of leadership. When you look at our leadership, you'll be amazed at what has happened and who has been our chairpersons. We started out with I've mentioned Justice Mary Odili. We moved to Justice Daisy Okocha, retired. That's the past Chief Judge of Rivers State. After her, we had Dame Aleruchi Kukigam, the first female Attorney General of Rivers State, and she was also the Secretary of State of Rivers State. After her, we had Reverend Okara. After Reverend Okara, we had Honorable Mrs. Bromilo Jack, Boma Bromilo Jack, a one-time minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. After her, we have our own special Honorable Justice Elsie Thompson, the one who drives us right now, puts us on our toes. She's a member of the Board of Trustees of FIDA Nigeria. And she's a past judge of the African Court. She's also a past judge of the African Court. After her, we had Amia Samaka, Honorable Mrs. Florence Amia Samaka, a former commissioner of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. After her, we had Honorable Justice Hariba Dagogo Jack. Then we have had Honorable Mrs. Inime Aguma, who is presently the United Nations International Representative of FIDA International. She's our UN rep. She's also just the past immediate Commissioner of Social Welfare and Rehabilitation. She's very dear to us also. After her, we had Mrs. Florence, Honorable Justice Florence actually, Fiberesima. After her, we had Mrs. Eukaria Pepo, then Mrs. Florence Itamnola, Mrs. Tonia Osademe, and Mrs. Nena Ibokwe before myself. So you see that we've had a long list of people that have helped the organization get to where we are now. We're celebrating 35 years with serious partnership and support from the state government and the judiciary. We have a lot of people that are on the bench, that are in the magistracy and in other positions. Because of this relationship, we also enjoy the waiver of filing fees for all our pro bono matters. That's the way why we're able to do things pro bono for you also. So you can see that FIDA at 35 will have gone very far. We're happy for the past, we're happy for our pioneer members that are still supporting us, people like Anthony, Min, Jax, and the others. They still come to meetings. So we'll say FIDA Rivers at 35, we're glowing.
Wow, awesome. I'm glad I'm a FIDA. These great women of substance has headed this very dynamic branch. And I'm sure each and every one of us is proud to be a member of this very great organization. Wow, very interesting. Wow, to take us further in this conversation, Mrs. Tamino Ibuemi, you happen to be the vice chairperson and the head of the ADRO and litigation committee.
Yeah,
now,
privileged one at that.
Great.
Grateful.
And I know it's a very tasking one at that.
Absolutely, but we do it with joy.
Good, great.
Yeah.
God has been faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been hearing about FIDA Legal Center, Visitor Center. What is FIDA Legal Center?
Oh, let me take a deep breath. 35 years down the road is not, in our local parlance, to say it's not beans. FIDA Legal Center is like any other regular chamber that a lawyer will put up once it's been called to the Nigerian bar. And what do they do? Go to court, adjudicate, and for us as a center, as a chamber, we carry on to deal with matters that are like, a stereotype to some kind of laws. And what are they? Violence against persons, the child rights law, and then recent, thank God to our governor, the administration of criminal justice, applicable in the River State. Ranging matters that are being covered under these laws are like domestic violence, battery, abuse, internet bullying, just name them. Failure to provide necessary, abandonment of children, abdication, just name them. There are so many. And so what do we do when they come? As a chamber, we have department, we have the mediation session, we have the reconciliation where we reconcile families, and then we have litigation where in the extreme end parties are not agreeing to terms, we go to court on their behalf. Now, in the mediation, like as the name go, we mediate, will be like, we hold on to the stage for them to pour out their heart the way they want it. And at the end of the day, documents that are signed at that section is one that is coming from them. You understand? It's one that they have agreed by themselves, so they own it, they run with it, and ensure that they don't fail. But like an extreme, where they fail by themselves, sometimes they come back, oh, he's not doing to this, she's not doing to this, we agree to this, and then on that we invite them again. It's a process until the children, that are being violated in their marriage, in their union, is above 18 years. We don't let them go. We'll ensure that they do their work as it has to do with those children. Now we now come to reconciliation. I think that's one aspect of FIDA that is really not talked about. We reconcile families.
A whole lot.
We are a ministry, if you would so call it. When you come in there, before we go to court, of course, we don't even divorce marriages. We don't. We will tell you that, look, come what may, this is an institution that you don't know how it come about. Because you're there with information, you can go on. And I tell you, if we have up to, like as we have it on record, the cases between June and July this year alone were 420, 420 cases. Broken down to abandonment of children, 27, battery, 98, failure to provide necessary. That's when we say failure to provide, we mean parents, abdicating their responsibility on their children. We have up to 140. Look at it, between June and July. It's so enormous. Non-access to children. There are people, once they quarrel, one party will hold on to the children and deny access to the other. It's a big problem for them. And we have that up to 39 cases in that range. Threat to life. You see a man will take up to object one anger or the other. They want to kill themselves. Matters like that are before us too. You can. It's more than 50. Bringing that family, marital issues, failure, and all that. 52 cases. Putting all of these figures together, you see that 420 just June and July. So how do we go about it?
June and July.
Very well, I'm telling you, honestly speaking, the records are there, to speak for themselves. And these matters are in files. Everybody that walks into the system has a filing system. In the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, you come, your records are there, well documented.
Upload them.
We upload them even to the internet so that it can be saved for safekeeping. So 35 years down the road, I think we have done a lot and we still will do a lot, which we are privileged to be part of. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I must confess that department is a very, very tedious one, and it takes one who has so much strength and energy to run that department. Thank you very much, Mrs. Tamale. All right. I want to let's hear from our branch secretary, Mrs. Imi Irene Pepu. Ma, you are the head of the secretariat, and I understand FIDA has been running with its activities in the past years. 35 years, it's been going from one person to the other, and the baton is in your hands as it stands. Now, I want to know, how has it been with achieving her goals? FIDA as an organization, how have they been able to achieve their goals, and what are the achievements so far? You can just give us a brief run over.
Thank you so very much. I have been so excited in just listening. It's so great to be a part of something so big and life-changing, and you see lives change before us. I'm privileged to work as the secretary of FIDA, supporting the chairperson and the vice chair in the whole ESCO. And FIDA has what we call a 5-year strategic goal plan we have 5-year strategic plan. Now in this plan, the FIDA Nigeria lays down the goals that we need to meet in order that all the branches in FIDA are working the same line. So what do we do? How do we achieve these goals? First thing is enlightenment and sensitization programs.
Yes.
FIDA Rivers, presently, as we all know, every month we visit a local government, we visit a school, and we visit the market. We even have stakeholder engagements to enlighten people about the law, enlighten people about their rights, and also to let them know what they ought to do, the steps they ought to take. There's some people who will never come to our center. There are those who are in the markets, there are those who are in homes, so we visit them, we enlighten them. So that's one of the things that we have done and we are still doing. And what are the topics we talk about? Gender equality, violence against women, we talk about sexual violence, we talk about women empowerment, and women inheritance rights. This is almost more, we have been doing. And secondly, what have we done? We influence legislation. We lobby for laws. Presently, just recently, the women inheritance law, was signed. The bill came up, and we had a paper, we presented a paper. And I know that this is one of the things that we do, we influence legislation. We also do humanitarian services. Our vice chair so ably told us everything about it. Look, we have a walk-in clinic. Anybody can walk in. Presently, we have men who come in much more than women to make complaints. They lay complaints and they tell us, this is what I'm going through. And we're so happy to have that kind of engagement. Before now, people thought FIDA is all about divorce. It's all about women who don't like their marriages. But one man said something to us during a mediation. He said, thank you very much. I didn't know FIDA does this. I will go and spread the news. And we're also excited. So FIDA does that. We also build coalition. You see, FIDA cannot do alone. FIDA has partners. So our strategy, which is still what we're working on, is to build a coalition between other partners, CBOs, CSOs, even the agencies, even the media. We have media partners. That's why we're here, who we work with to achieve our goals. Look, FIDA is doing so much more. We even have publications. We reach out to people with publications. We have journals. We have Empower magazine, which we publish every year. We have Women in Governance. We have Women in Governance Initiative. We even an upcoming one, Relevant Laws are Beneficial to Women in Rivers State. I dare say that FIDA has done well. Even if
and I guess that will be unveiled in our during our celebration.
Very well. I would leave that for the chair of the committee.
Yes. Before you go over to her,
okay.
You said something that FIDA does humanitarian services. Doing humanitarian services, and you also mentioned, the ADRO committee chairperson also mentioned that most of this matter goes to court. How are we able to fund this? Because I think, are these people made to pay the bills? Do these people pay bills when they come to FIDA? How is it done, and how do we achieve that?
FIDA, is interesting about FIDA. It's like it's pro bono. Pro bono means it's free for indigent women and children. As long as you're walking into FIDA, you're able to lay your complaint, and female lawyers who have dedicated their time and their skill will take up your matters through mediation, conciliation, and litigation. So these matters are actually free. Yes. But we have funding. We have donors who partner with us.
Yes.
We have people, even the members, we also pay our dues, and we actually use our resources to fund FIDA. So we're actually doing much more than people think. And then we also have corpers who also volunteer. We have volunteers, lawyers coming, even legal practitioners volunteer to take up our cases. They also do all that. And so that's how FIDA gets.
Donors are welcome.
Yes, and yes. Donors are welcome.
Thank you very much.
And we have existing donors
I had to put that
and grants, running.
Yes.
Yes,
We're
let's
thankful
use
to
this
our partners.
opportunity.
Yes,
So thank you to the OB Lulu Briggs Foundation.
Yes.
They've been funding our litigation committee for a while. We're very grateful for that. We're also grateful to our matron.
Yes.
Our matron.
Yes.
She has been awesome.
Awesomely
I think
awesome.
she deserves that
Yes.
applause.
Our excellency.
Yes, yes.
Our mother.
Yes.
Lisa Wike.
Yes.
She has been awesome.
Yes.
So we say thank you to her.
Chairperson, you can't forget the CJ.
No.
You can't forget the
We cannot
CJ.
forget
Our he for she.
our chief
judge.
Yes.
chief judge of Rivers
That's
State.
who he is, a friend to the
He's
call.
our partner.
Yes.
He's been our support, our pillar. We say thank you also to him. This 35 years won't have been, at least this part of our 35 years journey won't have been possible without them. So we're very grateful to all those our partners that have been sponsoring us.
Yeah. Yippee, it's celebration time. And here we have our planning committee chairperson to tell us how we intend to celebrate our
35 years.
She wants to give us a rundown of what our 35 years celebration is going to look like.
Yeah.
Mrs. Okorite Briggs Yobo, what do you have for us? 35 years, they say no be beans.
At all.
How do we go from here?
It's a time to roll out the drums. It's the time to blow our trumpet. We need to let people know what's going on. 35 years is a lot. And in line with our mandate, it's going to be several events are lined up, but 3 will climax all activities so far. So on the first day, which will be the 21st, the Friday, in line with our mandate, which is to empower, protect, and promote the rights of women and children, and indeed vulnerable groups, we're going to be taking a walk. Port Harcourt will hear us. The city of Port Harcourt. Media people, yes, please, join us. Everybody is welcome. Show up for the walk.
That's the word.
We're going to go from NBA House. NBA House is opposite Falga, Port Harcourt City Local Government. We're going to go from there all the way through to Abali Park. And at Abali Park, before we even get there, you hear our music going on. You see the chairs. So if you're not up to taking the walk, please sit down, chill, dance, wait for us. We're going to come there and we'll have free sensitization, free legal clinic going on. Vice Chair spoke about what happens at the center. We're bringing our center to the people.
To those who
Abali Park, it's happening live. Yeah. And everybody's welcome. Please tell someone to tell other people. Come ask questions. And we're partnering with other people. You know, our secretary spoke about people who work with us. Pharmacists, lady pharmacists will be there. Yes.
Thailand, they are coming to do some.
Yes, they'll be there.
BP checks. And
yes. So as you come in, you take legal clinic. You also have the other clinic running as well. And we'll refer cases. So we know that not every case will be dealt with totally there. So they are welcome to our center. We'll give them referral and we'll take it up. Because for an organization to exist for 35 years, it's clear that we don't do half and half.
No.
We follow through, and that's what we are known for. That's how come we've been here this long. And so that's for the first day. Everyone is welcome, like we said. And for the second day, because we realized what we do, how we achieve our mission is by reaching out to people, is by helping people, you know. And so we've asked ourselves, who helps us? So second day, we're bringing together our members. So then let's talk to ourselves. 35 years, where have we gotten it right? So we're starting, you know, our mentoring session. The day we have first, we'll take care of our health. You know, because we work with our eyes a lot. You know, my vice chair will always say that doctors go to get trained and they have stethoscope and they have instruments. For us, it's our eyes and our mouth that are our tools. So we'll start with that. We have a partner who is coming to just check us out, check our eyes, and then we'll do some checks as well, basic checks. And then we'll go into the session to look at ourselves. 35 years of helping others. Who looks out for you? Are you okay? Because the truth is, you know, we trivialize trauma issues. We think we're fine, you know.
I think that's what I call caring for the carer.
Yes, absolutely. So it's a time a professional is coming to talk to us, evaluate us, and check, are you okay, good to go, another 35 years. So we're going to be having that session, yes. And then we're going to have our seniors come around and talk to us, because the truth is, in every organization, there are new people coming in, and even those who are there, sometimes you think you know it all. But when you have a senior come in and say to you, this is how we do it, this is where we came from. You know, listening to chairperson reel out where we're coming from, it's humbling afresh again. So we're going to have that time again, look at ourselves and say, wow, we've done well for ourselves. And then, yes, we're going to also talk to ourselves, because like our secretary said, we fund our organization as well. So we need to know how to raise this money so that we're able to take care of ourselves and also fund our organization. So we have a session where we're going to be talking about what else can we do, you know, because the truth is we have various forms of areas of law developing. So we want to know those areas and key in, you know, because we got to be 21st century lawyers. So we will join in. And then
our secretary also mentioned the book launch.
Absolutely. So the grand finale, it's Friday the 23rd. It's going to be happening on Friday the 23rd. We have a launch, and then we have the book launch, and then we have awards ceremony.
That's launch square.
Yes. So we're going to be, first off, we're going to be, you know, recognizing some people who have been there for us. Our chairperson already mentioned some people. We're going to be saying thank you. Yes, we're going to award some people and really appreciate them for standing by us. It's a time for us to say thank you. It's not just celebrating where we've come from. Some people and institutions and organizations have helped us get to this point, and we're going to say thank you to them. They say the best way to ask for more is to say thank you. And then we're going to be launching our books, Relevant Laws Beneficial to Women in Rivers State. Make no mistake, it's not about who is from Rivers State. It's that you're resident here, it affects you. So you pick up the book, you have a challenge, you can just screen through, and then you say, oh, this has to do with female genital mutilation, or it's a will situation, or it's abuse to my person, somebody's sharing my nude pictures, what can I do? Different things. So it's a one-stop, you know, devoid of all the plenty legal jargons. You can just go straight. Any lay person can look through and know what is useful to the person per time. That's going to be happening on that day as well. Yes. And then, of course, we're going to make merry. 35 years, we need to make merry. And it's important to also state, in cause of this 3-day celebration, we're also going to be dealing with our mentoring session. And that's very key, because the organization has survived 35 years because there's been sustainability. People have handed over to other people. And it's a good time to mention that I'm a product of that as well.
I am too.
So I came into FIDA as a student, and surrounded by plenty mothers in the legal profession, and they've held me by the hand, and hey, I'm not doing badly. I'm sure they're proud of me. So it's a time for us to also, we have Lausanne students coming in. Yeah, so because we are all beneficiaries of that system.
You mean the
Law Students Association, yes. We've always been carrying them along, same way we were carried along. So they're going to be there as well to listen, to learn, to glean. And hey, FIDA is 35.
For those that are coming with us for the walk, we have free t-shirts for the first week.
Yes.
Yes, chairperson, you need to mention that again.
Free t-shirts for the
First 50
Somebody
people.
here is already indicating the first 50%. So we have free t-shirts for the first 50. So join us in that work. That work is a work for
equity.
Equity.
Equity. You know
That's what it
equity
is.
That's what we're working
Equality
for.
Yeah.
down the road.
We're working for equity.
Equity.
Yes.
Wow. It's been so awesome talking to these wonderful women here about FIDA at 35. You can agree with me that FIDA has done awesomely well and deserves a very merry celebration. And so we'll be looking forward to seeing you and having you join us in the celebration. Don't miss this. Tell somebody to tell somebody
Hooray!
that FIDA is 35. I will be celebrating come 21st to 23rd of September 2022.
You mean next
See
week,
you.
Wednesday to Friday?
Wednesday to Friday, clear your diaries.
We're there.
Be part of this celebration. See you there.